So it's so good to see everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm very glad. And let's see, we got a lot going on. I just got back from Phoenix. It was amazing. And oh, good, Patty's coming in. All right, there's Patty. Yay.
Hey, Mark.
And Phoenix was amazing. Amazing healings happened there. Very, very glad.
There we
And
go.
there you go, Candida. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Yeah. And let's see, every Tuesday we have the healing circle, unless otherwise notified. And then on Thursdays we have the healing clinic, and that's 20 minute appointments for anyone that's interested. And they're very reduced as far as, the cost. And then I have just about 7 days a week, I have regular appointments for up to an hour, if anyone's interested in that. And then we have a workshop coming up, a 2-hour workshop on experiential healing, discovering your gift. That's this coming Thursday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, if anyone's interested in that. And that's available on the website. And then the following week, we have the World of Intuition. It's a 4-day workshop. If anyone's interested in that, an hour and a half a day. And that's on Tuesday, the 21st, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 noon to 1:30. And if you can't attend one of these things, you can always still go ahead and sign up for it. And you'll be able to see it on YouTube for however many years YouTube lasts, and hopefully forever. That's where everything's stored. And you'll have, it's on a private channel. So if anyone's interested, please do take advantage of that. The workshops are, I've been told they're awesome, and I believe they're really good too. So, all right. And then in May, I have a 2-day apprentice training in Scottsdale, Arizona, if anyone's interested in that. It's going to be pretty awesome. Very intense, about 6 hours a day. And then also I'll be doing 2 days of appointments there as well. And then I'll be coming home. And then that's all I know. In June, I'll be going to California doing a 2-day apprentice training there with other people that are also in my order. And if anyone's interested in that, let me know. I'll get you all the information and contact stuff. Other than that, I don't know of anything else. Any questions or comments or anything I can try to answer from anyone, please? Anything about healing or my belief system or what I do or intuition or whatever. Anyone, please come on, chicken.
I've got a question.
Please, Paul. Yay!
I just retired a couple weeks ago, so I've got all that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Work stress off of me, and I've had some really good days. The last couple have been a little rough with all the other stuff I've had going on for a long time with Lyme. And Epstein-Barr, but I've always felt I'd like to, when I've had the time, which I will going forward now, to do something like that. How do you reconcile with when you're still dealing with your own health issues and then trying to, do something for other people on top of that? Huh?
You don't have to reconcile. Once you begin to get into this world, you find yourself feeling better and doing otherwise versus going into the destructive or the resistance. That kind of falls away. Sure, we all have stuff,
right?
But you learn tools to work with, and then there's a consciousness besides the tools to work with that will eliminate a lot of the distresses and the anxiety, worries, and fears and stuff like that, that creates more even in a low grade temperance that we have that develops into more stuff, you find that there's a consciousness that becomes a part of you that, oh my God, I used to be of that nature, or I used to be, of this way or whatever. You're not anymore. And even when you're working with other people, you'll find that you have the same experiences that they're having, or similar experiences. You'll find that you'll be able to relate to people and understand what their situations are, because no one's going to come to us. Excuse me, I'm going hoarse. No one's going to come to us where it's not also a part of ourself that we're working with, or else we wouldn't be able to identify with it. So all the things that we've gone through in our lives, they're almost like a stepping stone. And the dilemmas, the dramas, the traumas and stuff like that create things, they kind of become an awareness within you that you're no longer suffering from those as we recognize those. If that almost makes sense, Paul.
Yeah, a little. I know. I mean, I feel like I've always been like an empath, that type of person, and my wife lets things roll off, or she's always accused me of taking on. Don't take on other people's stuff, that kind of thing.
Hey, been there, done that. Believe me. Been there, done that.
So I'm assuming there in like trainings you'll learn how to not to send out the good energy, the love, and all that without actually taking a lot of that on yourself.
Yeah, I used to many, many years ago when I first started working with this stuff, and I told the story to a few other people who know of it. But many years ago, when all this came upon me one day, every single day I'd be coming home with someone else's black eye that they got, not me, but that I got from them, or I get a strep throat, or another times I have achy muscles or injuries that, I didn't participate in to get those things, except for working with other people. Mm-hmm. I would take on all this stuff that I didn't know. And until one day I said, and every single day I came home, my teacher would look at me and say, "What the hell happened to you, Brother Mark?" And I tell him this great story of a great healing and all this other stuff. And he said, "When you going to learn, Brother Mark? When you going to learn?" And so one day I decided to never do this stuff again. And I just didn't want to participate because I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And my energy level was getting down to nil. I had no enthusiasm. And my body was weak. And I said, I can't handle this anymore. I'm going to die. And so I said, I'm not doing this ever again. So I got on the bus, went to work. And the first thing that happened, all these people at this Bonanza restaurant, they were supporting this elderly lady and saying, "Hey, Mark's here, party time. And he's going to give a healing." And so I looked at her, I felt so bad for her. And that she had this massive, massive migraine. And her migraines lasted her for maybe 3 or 4 days, or even up to 5. And so I said, "Sit her down." So I put my hands on her head, and everyone's cheering me, "Go, Mark, go." And it was a big party for them every time they saw something like this happen. And so then, as I was putting my hands on her head and feeling really bad for her, I realized, oh my God, I'm going to get this migraine. I can't, I'll die. And, it's just going to totally destroy me. And then I said, okay, I was never able to do this stuff before. And so if God's doing it, then I started praying inside of myself, "God, get this migraine." And then I started chanting and picturing God getting this massive migraine. And that was the only thing on my mind. It was God getting this migraine, and I was watching God's mind pulsate and everything else. And I'm just, really into this prayer and focused. God, get this migraine. God, get this migraine. And then I felt my indicators after about maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And I took my hands down. She's smiling, and I realized I didn't have a migraine. It was the first time I wasn't getting sick for 3 months. I'd been doing this stuff. And it was the first time I was not sick in any way. And so ever since then, I say, okay, God, this is yours. And that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. I realized that it's never been me in the first place.
All right.
It's the old man or a woman upstairs, as I refer to it, or it, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't care. It does not care. Good question. Good question. And I hope that answers your question. So,
Yes. Yeah. Thank
all
you.
right, good. Any other questions or comments before we boogie here? Please.
I have a question, just kind of
Please.
piggybacking off of his question. So outside of God or the higher power, or whatever we're aligning with, take this thing for this person when we're talking about being empaths. Do you have any other, what else do you use, if anything, to protect yourself, to shield yourself, so to speak, from other people's stuff when you work with a lot of people?
I went into all this stuff with being totally naive, not knowing anything. I didn't know spirituality. I never read books about this stuff. The only spirituality that I ever had an experience of prior to going into my order was when I was really young. I was going out and my parents were watching TV, but on the television was these African-American singers, and they were singing gospel music. And my mother and my father said, "Oh, this is really beautiful. You need to stay and listen to this. This is really spiritual." That's the only thought that I had of anything what was spiritual. So I had no inkling, no understanding about any spirituality, thank God. And so the only thing I've always realized through that innocence, through being naive, is that I didn't have to take anything on. And I always know that if anything is taking on, there's that divinity, there's a godliness, there's a creator that's doing it, and it's not me doing it. So I don't have to worry about anything. I've worked with some pretty amazing stuff that people would run away screaming if they were able to ever run away again. And I knew that it wasn't me that was performing this stuff or working with it. And so, I don't worry about that. So sometimes what I'll do, someone mentioned this the other day, matter of fact, and I've done it before too, but I've never told anyone this. Years and years ago, I watched someone who was confronting me with really vile conversation. I just watched them, and I thought I'd try an experiment as they were doing this, and I watched their words drop right in front of me, and I kind of burst out laughing at the time when I did that. And because the words, if they're destructive, they really have no life. And if they're constructive, I've learned to accept that in my life. Other times I know that most of the time, matter of fact, I know that when someone's in front of me, I realize they're just telling me about their life. It's not about me. They're, if they're really, what's the term, vitriol? they're just telling me the way that they were brought up and what they learned in control or otherwise, in order to survive. And thinking that they're getting along, or something, it's meaningless. Not in a destructive way meaningless, but it's meaningless for me to be resistant to have a reaction to someone. It's totally meaningless. Otherwise, I'm living in that world as well. And I'm being controlled by them unnecessarily. When it's really them, they're just expressing the only way they know how, the way that they learned to have those control issues. Does that make sense, hon?
Mm-hmm.
And so, they're fantastic questions. I love these. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, anything else I can try to explain or help understand? Anything, anyone, please. Oh, come on, one more. All right. Well, let's see here. Crystal, anything, tell me one thing in your body that's bugging you or for a blessing or for someone else or whatever.
Sure. I'd like if you to work on my nervous system and brain for the shaking.
Yes, I would love to.
Okay.
Yes. Has it maintained or gotten more intense?
Well, it just depends. It depends.
Okay.
But it's still there. Right? It's still it's worse on the left side. I mean, it's all over, but the worst left arm and leg is.
Okay.
But
All right. All right, my dear.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Blessings to you. Paul, talk to me.
Well, like I said, I haven't had the workload in the last couple of weeks, so that's been good. And I feel like I've been releasing a lot of things.
Yeah.
And had some intense days. And then the last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I had the most wonderful, peaceful days. Usually we take our dog for a walk early in the morning, one of the local forest preserves around here, and just felt so good. And then whatever happened yesterday, I didn't sleep as well. And today I had that same kind of tense, kind of sick feeling in my chest and my body. So it's been a tougher day today. So I just get a blessing for like a better night's sleep and better days ahead. I know it's things are going to slowly start to get better week by week.
Yes.
As I have more time to rest and even just take a nap in the afternoon or watch our granddaughter tomorrow.
Yeah. I'll tell you, and this is with most people, I'm not going to say all, but at least most. When everything is going just lovely, everything is going so perfectly, everything is just going in sync with everything else, no matter whether it's real subtly in life or just all of a sudden we're experiencing these great, wonderful days or weeks or whatever. It's usually that's almost like a high time in life. And it's very beautiful. And our thinking, our minds are clear, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, there's a crash. And it's quite normal for most people to have that crash. It's almost like we're given a reprieve in life. And then it's almost like get back to work, get back to life. And but as we get to become conscious that everything is just really fine and wonderful and flowing beautifully in synchronicity and everything, and you're feeling great inside. And when if you have the opportunity to recognize that, okay, I've had my high time, now we're crashing. The crashing is, it's almost like it's given to us on a golden platter, that crash that we experience. And what's really happening is that we're assimilating like an evolution that happened to us. But we as humans with our brains and minds and everything else, we get wrapped up in the crash and see it as a downtime that's destructive. And so we're getting affected by that. When in reality, if we can recognize that we were just on a high time and now all that evolving that we went through, all those good things are integrating within us. If we can recognize that, the crash won't be so like that. It'll turn more into this. Does that make sense, Paul?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Cause this has been going on for quite a while, and I've
Yes.
gotten a different perspective as it's evolved. Even like talking about, like, you know, maybe at some point getting involved with one of your trainings to help other people. It's like, God, why is this happening to me? That those type of questions, like,
Those are the
well, how
first
can I,
reactions that we're going to have. Yes.
yeah, how can I use this going forward to help someone
Precisely.
else?
Precisely. And all my classes, they involve that as well. And how to work with and how to live with yourself and to make things gentler and smoother in your life. And that you can call upon your abilities to have more control of life. They all delve into the ability to focus. And they all delve into learning how you can be more of you. All the healing classes, all the intuition classes, and any other aspects of spirituality that I get into, they all go into that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So let me work with you a little bit. What I'd like to do, I want to work with your heart and I want to work with your brain a little bit.
Okay.
Your cranial rhythms, I should say, and your heart. All right, my friend. All right, good.
Thank you.
My honor, my pleasure. All right. Candy, another thing that a tool that I use, and anyone can do this, it's just so awesome. And we don't think of doing these things because we're supposed to respond to people, and we're supposed to get wrapped up with people. And one great tool that I use, and I was just explaining this to someone else who had an appointment earlier today, that if you witness someone arguing with someone else, or someone's arguing with you, in my mind, and I've used this tool to see if it really works, and it is just amazing. Say if I'm feeling, they want me to feel guilty about something, or they want me to feel hurt about something, or they want me to feel, resistant about something, or they want to control me with something. In my mind, I use my imagination, which means to image in action. I use my imagination and I picture them with either my eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. And I picture them with big red clown shoes. And sometimes I'll put a bulbous red nose on them. And then I watch them being vitriol towards me, real destructive towards me. And I just watch them very objectively and observantly. Sometimes I'll just really burst out laughing. And, and then as I do that, I don't tell them what I'm doing, but as I do that, I'll watch them just look at me out of nowhere like they have no more power, they have no more life, and they're not getting any resistance out of me. They don't know what to do then. Great tool. Great tool.
Thank you.
My honor, my pleasure. Yeah, even people that are interacting with each other, I'm witnessing at a distance doing that. Even people that are fighting or something, I watch that happen in my head. But you have to be objective and you have to be observant, imagining this. And you'll see that the destructive nature or destructive quality of it all is going away. It dissipates. It has no more life. Or something will change in one or both of them.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Mike, my dear friend, how you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm a work in progress.
We all are.
If I can just make a couple of short comments.
Please.
My sister's a miserable person and she blames everything else. And she's always trying to control everything and make other people miserable. And we've argued, and she's argued with everybody in my immediate family since we were little. And my problem was I always thought that she was sane, and she never was. And if I disagreed with her, she'd go ballistic, if anybody did in our family. And then I take that personally. So now I always expect her to be crazy. She never disappoints me and I never take it personally.
This is awesome.
And it's okay,
Yeah.
And she gets a little irritated about that, but that makes life so much better.
True.
And the other short thing is in Tai Chi, it's based on the philosophy of Taoism, and nothing's all good or nothing's all bad. And every good, there's a little bad, and every bad, there's a little good. So
Right.
if something's happening that I'm considering, oh, this is bad, I immediately look and say, well, what's good here? And there is something. I can find something good in there, and then I just follow that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And, everything that we call bad or destructive, there's also a part of us that we're reacting to inside of us, which is the resistance as well, either what it had been in our life or what is or what potentially could be in varying degrees. Or else we wouldn't be able to identify with it if it wasn't a part of us in some way or another. So as we're focusing on these things and recognizing a potential or a possibility of what is carried within us as well, even though we say don't do it publicly, we just do it in our minds or whatever, we still identify with it of what had been, is, or potentially will be. And so we have an opportunity to ask ourselves, okay, am I like this as well? And as we do that, then that also breaks the resistance that we're inhibiting or keeping within ourselves. And we find ourselves becoming more compassionate as we do that. And to some degree, we'll always be meeting ourselves to varying degrees. There is no beginning and there is no end to anything. And we have the potential to see ourselves in all situations where there's no more resistance, and recognizing that there's no beginning and no end. Just like with the sun, when is it's no cutoff point. It's it's dark and then it's light, but it develops into that. And then it develops going back into the darkness again because of the rotation of the planet, etc., or the waves, or the phases of the moon. There's no beginning and no end. It's all a part of everything. So as we get to see that, we have that within ourselves as well. It's never the end of the story. And so there must be something in us, or else we wouldn't be able to identify. It's just like someone coming up to you saying the word "the." You have to have pictures. You have to have full sentences to create, or partial sentences to create a picture that we can relate to. So when someone's going on a rampage in front of us, we can identify with that. It's not through saying the word "the." There's more to the story. How can we identify? Did it bother us when we were younger, when our parents argued? We're identifying. Or some situation. I hope this makes sense. Anything in particular, Mike, you'd like me to work with, please?
I've become friends with this young lady at the gym, and when she was 25, she had 2 strokes, and she was in a wheelchair and couldn't talk. And now she's 32, 7 years later, and she walks with a limp and a cane, and she talks slowly, and she's very self-conscious. And she's at the gym, just about every day, trying to get better and getting better. And my heart just goes out to her. And if she could get a blessing, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, and just love her. Just love her for who she is. That's all that matters to her. Yes, I'd be more than happy to work with her. And everyone, please keep me updated on any situation that we might be working with. I'd really appreciate that. Or if you want to go further with an appointment, that's fine. But don't have the pity.
No. Hey, everybody struggles.
All right. And, you know, the blessing turned into her loving herself and just, you know, being her. And if any pity comes in, it's keeping that mindset there. And that's what we want to avoid, you know, letting a person be themselves is what we are striving for.
Yeah. Well, I think if I can appreciate her and other people can appreciate her, she can appreciate herself more.
That's
And
right.
thank you, Mark.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, Mike. Vivi.
Hello. I think I've been sitting here listening to all this and thinking, you know, why am I really wanting to come back and see you again? And I'm thinking I have to go back to when I last saw you. It might be a year ago. It's quite some time ago. I've got ovarian cancer and I'm still, you know, getting treatments and going down the road with all this. And the way it left me last time that we met, I did write you an email about a fortnight later, but I felt very recharged, if you like, into the kind of magic zone. I think I called it the magic zone last time we spoke.
Cool.
It was very charged, and I felt really close, and it gave me a lot of inspiration, if you like, because I do a lot to try and help myself. I see other healers. I do a lot to try and help myself. Basically, I'm a very long-term survivor of ovarian cancer. And
God bless you. Yeah.
I was thinking, yeah, I'd like to reconnect because I feel I need a recharge. and that's what you did for me. You kind of charged up my connection with the divine, if you like.
Good.
So, you know, obviously I'd like the cancer to go away. But what I could really do with right now is a recharge with the connection and be more inspired, because I'm kind of at a bit of a low point at the moment where I'm kind of in a lull, if you like,
Yeah.
with the connection. So I think that would be my wish today.
I've worked with many of people who've requested that recharge, and it's awesome, and it helps a person to either take over themselves and but the other thing that I wanted to mention was that you have this capability, like other people too, and I've worked with people that have had, say, well, for instance, with cancer, and many of people, and the cancer, they still had it, but it never again bothered them in their life. They were, it didn't spread, it didn't grow, it didn't hurt them, didn't change their bodies or metabolisms or immune systems. It didn't do anything ever again.
Well, in my case, that's not the case. It is charging away.
Okay. And they became friends with it.
Okay.
Which is really important. And that being friends with it also, for some people, it takes it away forever.
Okay.
Completely disappears out of their life when they're no longer in threat. Because the threat is emotional and mental and physiological. And that's the resistance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I never know what's going to happen. I'm not a predictor or a prophet. I'll see things at times, but at the same time, I don't make things happen. I let God do it in God's providence, as I call it. And how that develops from there, it's not only God's part, it's our part as well that we participate in and we trust. All right.
Yeah, I believe in co-creation.
There you go.
And I have interesting sort of things happening to me. But
Yes,
I'm just in a bit of a lull at the moment, and
I understand. Oh, I get
Yeah.
it. I get it.
Yeah,
So,
you go.
yeah, so, and going back to the co-creation, we're created in that image. We're created in the image. And if that's true, we have the ability to recreate in that image. And therefore, we are co-creators. If all that is true, if we're created in the image, we have the ability to recreate in that image what's in that image of its perfection.
Yeah. Yeah, that
We-
sounds good.
Yeah, we're therefore co-creators. Let me, first of all, ask a blessing on you. And also understand that at a very younger age, there was the inability to be loved or to,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
when in reality, you needed that as your experience in order to love.
yeah,
You needed the destructive thinking part and emotional part in order to find out how to love.
yeah.
So it was like a gift.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
I know, I understand. All right, let me work with the ovarian. All right, lovely.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Did I already call on you, Crystal?
Yes, I was first.
All right. All right, yeah, I got it together, don't worry. Are you going to the workshop?
Am I going to the workshop?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, just curious. All right. Did you already sign up for it?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You don't have to. I was just curious and my mind starts thinking. All right, so sorry. Patty, my dear, talk to me.
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
I would like some healing on my right arm, the top of the arm. I tried to close my sliding door in an awkward position, and I don't know, something popped. So I'm in a lot more pain than I thought I'd be.
I am so sorry to hear that.
That's okay. Part of life.
You got to have people around to do everything for you, you know.
Right. I'm
Even
looking
put
for
food in your
those
mouth,
people.
everything. All right. What I'd like you to do, this is odd. You're right, so it's my left. So hold up your arm like this. And is it tender doing that, going up in here?
Oh, yeah, this whole
Okay.
top.
All right, so hold your arm up
Mhm.
and just hold it there for a moment.
Sure.
All right, now put it down and lift your arm up again. And tell me if you notice any difference in there going in any direction. Be candid, please.
It's quite a bit better, and I did feel a release, like something
Good.
was pulling out.
Good. All right, let's see what more transpires from that then.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And I'm most curious. Keep me updated on that. And I'll
I will.
ask a couple minutes too. Candy, please. Anything in particular, my dear?
So I have a very painful hiatal hernia.
Ooh. All right. All right. Just sit back and relax. Let's see if we can affect this in any way here. What I'd like you to do is real gently in slow motion, breathe in through your mouth and all the way, let the breath go all the way down into the lowest part of your belly. And slowly, in slow motion, gently out of your mouth, let it come out. Real slow motion. And then take another deep breath, and you'll see that the breath goes even deeper every time you do that. All breathe in slow motion. All right, now open up your eyes and move around a little bit and tell me if it's as painful, if you can get into any position or worse or the same or better, hon.
I just ate a little bit ago, and so my stomach is uncomfortable because it's a little bit full just from the soup I had because it's
Sure.
irritated. So it's a little hard to tell right now.
Okay. All right, that's fine. That's fine. And let me do a little bit more. Do you have a sister?
No,
When you were real young, did you also have abdominal problems?
not that I can remember when I was small, but maybe starting around 15.
Okay. All right. That's what I want to work with a little bit too. I was just trying to figure out uh, what the relationship was, so I didn't know if it was sister or you. All right, you got it. You got it, my dear. All right, let's see if this
Thank you.
helps or what happens, transpires or whatever, or leads
Thank
into.
you.
Great, great. Ruth, how are you, my dear?
Hi, Mark. Um, Good. I had my usual Tuesday exercise class today and I was fine going in. And then I came home and helped my husband unload the groceries out of the car and put
Oh
the
my
bike
God.
rack in the basement. And the bike rack weighs a ton.
Oh God.
So I'm a little sore.
Yeah. All right. All right.
So yeah.
All right. Um, I'm telling you, don't ever do any exercise for anything.
This is working. It's strengthening me and it's starting to grow new bone. So that's good.
I know. I'm kidding.
Kidding.
But you never know it knowing my life, but in any case, almond M&Ms and Snickers and coffee. That's all anyone
Yeah.
needs. Um,
Thank
oh, my pleasure. A little bit later, if you get a little lightheaded, I call that clarity, and it'll integrate within you. If it isn't
Okay.
sooner or later. All right.
Good. Yes.
All right. Good. Nini, my dear friend.
Hi, Mark. Thank you. Last week you worked on my cousin Johnny with her niece.
Oh, yes.
She got some relief, but then she said when she walked, especially the right knee, she gets some kind of like a stabbing pain. Is
Okay.
there? Yeah, that's good. And then just a blessing. Thank you.
Sure. A blessing for you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, my dear.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Lynn, is there anything in particular?
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Blessing. Take a blessing. Thank you.
You got it. All right. And also what I saw was that if you're not experiencing it now, but now is leading into it, it's like a time of clarity you're going to be experiencing, real clarity. And
Yes. You know
all
what?
right.
That's the word that went through my mind as you were doing it. I could feel it. Thank you.
All right. Good. Excellent. Blessings. How you doing, Crystal?
Doing okay.
All right, hon. All right. And Paul, how you doing?
Good. Getting tired, ready for bed. I don't know if anybody else with this daylight savings time kind of throws things off for at least a few days or the first
It
week.
really threw me for a loop when it changed. I don't know why. It's the first time ever. It just really threw me for a loop. All right. Mike, you doing okay, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
All right. All right. And Vivi.
I've got, I guess it's maybe a comment. I don't know. When you do your hands thing, I feel this in the chest. Not for me, when you do it for other people.
Cool.
I feel so. Yeah, is that kind of okay, or well, how am I supposed to react to that?
Oh, totally, perfectly okay.
Yeah, am I
Totally.
supposed to react to it or just relax?
Enjoy it.
Oh, okay, right on.
Totally enjoy it.
Okay. Yep. So it's not that I get involved in their stuff or like we were talking about before. It's just sit back and enjoy the feeling.
Yeah, it's like a presence of that divinity, the godliness, you know.
Okay.
And when you're feeling it, it's being shared with you as well.
Okay, cool.
Enjoy it.
Thank
Good.
you. Will do.
Patty, anything? How you doing?
Doing okay. I'm going to be working tomorrow, so I'm going to be very careful
Yes.
when I'm at work.
Watch yourself. You know, there's always, and remember tomorrow, there's two sides to everything. And so if you turn, say one way, watch your backside. And so, or if you reach, you know, watch the other side, whatever it is. I don't know what. There's always two sides to everything. You know.
Gotcha.
If you step down on something, there's two sides to everything. Watch and be aware of both sides.
Okay.
And or try to make sense of what was just said.
Will do, Mr. Mark.
You got it. Candy, how you doing, hon?
I'm doing okay.
Good. Good. Patty, can you raise your arm and tell if there's any difference? Or it's the same or worse or better?
Yes, it's not as painful as it was. It's not gone, but it's a lot more comfortable. Thank you.
This will break you into feeling better. All right.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Excellent. Ruth, how you doing, hon?
Feels okay, Mark. Thank you.
All right, good. And remember, it's not the end of the story.
I know.
All right, good. Nini, how you doing? Okay.
I'm doing good, Mark. Thank you.
Good. Please keep me updated about your friend, please.
I will. My cousin.
All righty. And Lynn, you're doing good?
I do have a quick question for you real quick.
Sure.
There's a pressure in the front of my head and I understand like this clarity because I felt it coming now for about the last 12 hours. I'm just wondering
Yes.
if that's related.
Yes. Yes, it is. It's related, but it's still a part of you and your life as well, even though it pertains with your dad as well. But the clarity will encompass many aspects of our life.
Did
If
you
that
say my
makes sense.
dad?
I'm sorry?
Did you say my dad?
No, I did, but I didn't mean that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right. Blessings. All right. Any final questions? Please feel free, if it's within you, to go onto the website and do a donation if you want, or gifting as they call it, or whatever else. And if anyone's interested in classes, please go to the website. I got a couple coming up. And we also have an apprentice training coming up that Lynn, you haven't posted that, Lynn, have you?
Yes, it is actually posted already.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Excellent.
I'm on
Thank
the ball.
you. And that's in May. And
Yes.
let's
It's
see.
in Facebook and it's on the website.
Oh, fantastic. Good deal. All right. Anything else, anyone, before we say our adieus?
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mark.
Thank you,
Yes,
Mark.
thank
God
you.
bless everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mike. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Take care.